welcome to episode 1 of the Chirp Hockey podcast. I'm Jonathan Voyles, and this is my co-host, Donnie Margettie. What's up, Donnie?
Johnny, how are you today? Finally, we did it. We did it.
It's here. We were waiting for a while. Said we were going to get it done, and now we're here.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, a special thanks to, Power Grab Media for making this place look amazing.
it's our studios. So actually, today's sponsor, I'm glad you brought that up. Today's sponsor is Power Grab Media.
Look at this place. It looks amazing. Makes me feel very professional being here.
Hey, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right.
Definitely.
You got to do it right. So today's, I guess, today's episode, I feel like would just be introductions, where we came from, how it all started, our careers, what we're doing now, what our plans are in the future, and how Chirp Hockey started, the brand, still small, still trying to figure it out, just having fun with it, but we're just going for it. And now a podcast. So,
well, definitely we got to thank our friends and family, around West Texas and in the Dallas area and Amarillo and everywhere.
They've been supporting it.
They've been supporting it, wearing the Chirp merch. A big shout out to Kenny Reeves that back in Dallas. He's I think he's our number one fan.
He is the number one supporter of Chirp Hockey for sure.
Definitely.
Wow, just throwing shout outs right
well,
out the gate.
I got to give him a shout out. I saw him last weekend, and they came and supported the Junior Jacks. And speaking of Junior Jacks, they had an amazing weekend last weekend. And, congratulations, Johnny, being part of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
You've definitely come a long way.
We got to give a shout out to, I guess, the coaches that were all involved in that. Dan Laverne, head coach, Dre Stewart, and
Austin Sutter.
Yeah. Sorry, I drew a blank.
He's got a tough face to look at. He definitely, I forget his name all the time, too. So, but...
yeah, so that was crazy. As long as I've played hockey, it really just I know it's a 10U, so our 10U, we combine with Amarillo. So it's Odessa and Amarillo. We combine. We did that. The Pee-wees did that, and I think there was a couple other teams that did that as well.
Yeah, well, ages 14, 16, and our high school varsity kids give those kids a chance to play against some good teams, and I thought they put on a good showing for the first year, and but go on with this.
Well, so we combined, and that I think that obviously makes us stronger. It makes us more competitive as a organization. So we're called the West Texas Selects, and what I was saying, with a championship, it just really lets you know how hard it is to win a championship. Doesn't matter what level, it's hard to win a championship, right?
Oh, yes.
When you're talking any kind of travel sports, where you're not just playing like house league or like a rec league, you're actually playing in a league. And I don't even remember how many teams we had. Probably, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, 13 teams, 14 teams. I don't know. But I mean, big shout out to the 10U West Texas Select team on winning a championship. So.
A lot of memories, I think that's Danny's 30th time crying this month, and what emotional guy, good guy. We'll get into him later.
I got emotional. Danny is definitely an emotional guy, but he's passionate, and what a great coach, and the kids, everyone was so pumped, and once we won, I felt myself get a little emotional. I was put myself in Danny's shoes for a little bit there.
Well, that's probably your first championship, John?
It's the first one. That's what I'm saying.
And that's what you're getting at. I won one champion back in junior, and I'll tell you, that's the only championship I remember winning. Sure, I probably won a few, a few tournaments here and there, but as far as a long championship goes, when you're with the same guys for the whole season, the same coaches, same family, same parents, it just brings something special. You always remember those guys you played with. So. That's one thing about championship teams. You always remember those guys.
No, it is pretty cool. Anyway, this is an introduction episode. So whether, who knows what happens with this podcast. This is episode 1. We could have 10 of these. We could have 2 of these. We could have 100 of these. We could have 1,000 of these. I don't know where this is going to go. So we're just having fun. None of this is rehearsed or scripted. We have a couple keynotes that we want to hit on, and we're just going to let it go. And
my sheet's blank over here. I don't really have anything to count on.
So introduction. Let's start with you. First off, what is it about Odessa that kept you here? What is it about the people? And I know things have changed here, but like you've been such a staple here. What is it that kept you here? And we can kind of go back from the beginning, but just hitting on that, because we started talking about the Odessa Junior Jacks and like our youth program, but what is it that like kept you in this area and made you want to build this program to what it is now?
Yeah, well, Johnny, I still remember, back in '96, I was in Las Vegas, and my agent wanted me to go to Tacoma, and I talked to Joe Clark, which, I know Joe's going through some problems right now. I want to wish his family all the best. Hope he becomes healthy and strong. We're rooting for you, Joe. But I got a call from Joe and Jeff Triano, and Jeff was from Niagara Falls. I was just a young kid, 22 years old, coming from Vegas, and they offered me $50 more a week to get down here. I was driving my Eagle Talon, and I was driving along I-20. I think it was from Abilene, and this big bush comes flying over my car, and that's the first tumbleweed I seen.
Tumbleweed.
And so, but no, really the people here. I mean, I got here.
Tumbleweeds in Canada?
No, tumbleweeds. Green grass, nice flowers. There's definitely a change of scenery. That West Texas, the people here is what kept me here. I mean, the hospitality, the fans, just the way that they treated us, and now we have so many former pro players that actually stay here and actually stayed here, and they actually helped the youth hockey program. And I ended up coming here and had my first chew, in Odessa, Texas. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely a shaker there. And then I met a whole bunch of great people, and just started hockey here, doing camps for kids, and got guys like you I met, just like coming up through the program. I brought my best friend here about 20 years ago, and he's very successful here in Odessa now. And we just got a lot of community support, and, over 25 years now we've been in Odessa, Texas.
Take us back. You grew up in Niagara Falls, Canada, or is that correct?
Yeah, I grew up in Niagara Falls, Canada. We were born with hockey skates, Johnny, and you guys were born with figure skates here. And I was, Niagara Falls, I remember it very, clearly. I was just every day playing hockey. I mean, everybody that's born in Canada, usually their parents get them a hockey stick and some skates, and you're skating in your backyards. And just real quickly, I grew up there and made a lot of good friends, and moved away from home when I was 16 years old, played in one of the biggest junior leagues in the world, OHL, and then came to the States at 20 years old, and never looked back. And but growing up in Niagara Falls was definitely a lot different than here. Everybody down there, here was about football coming into, Friday Night Lights when I first got here. I never knew what that was about. I've learned a lot about the history of Odessa, and I'm just glad that I live in Odessa, Texas at this time. So, and you, Johnny, you've definitely come a long way since I first, when I first met you. I think, you were one of our stick boys, I think, when we first got here, and you just came up through the ranks and done very well for yourself. Definitely proud of you. And
I appreciate it. Well, you're not done with your story, though. I mean,
no,
you cut it
I'm
short.
Not done,
you
but...
cut it short. So just people who know us know, but like who don't, if anyone sees this and maybe this grows and more people watch it, and maybe they tune in on like episode 10 or 11 or 12, and then they want to go back, they can, see our introduction. Like I want them to have like the story. Like, don't leave out like you're a fire captain now. Like, that was a big deal, right?
It was a big deal. Yeah, a real big deal. I mean, I'll backpedal a little bit. I mean, the reason why I am the way I am today is I had a lot of good coaches. I mean, like back then, it was all volunteer coaching staff. I mean, I think we're one of the only organizations here in the Metroplex or like West Texas that we have great volunteers. I mean, it's very tough to have volunteers. And, my family wasn't fortunate enough to go to every game or afford travel hockey, and never played travel hockey till I was 14 years old. And I had a couple coaches. I still remember them. I had Buddy Lowe. I still remember him. He used to pick me up, honk the horn, and he would take me to hockey and just took me under his wings. I mean, that's what it was about, and just gave me the opportunity to perform, and had people see me, and then I ended up in Odessa, Texas 20 years later, right? So, but I'm just very grateful of the opportunity that people gave me, and that's why we give back. I mean, that's why we're here in Odessa. I mean, we're a small organization with the youth hockey program, but I can tell you that every coach cares, and we do our best. And we're always at the rink, right? We're at the rink, or we're talking hockey, going out for lunch, and that's the best thing with our bonding. I mean, you never forget anybody. So
for sure, isn't it? It's just crazy to me to think like one, like that one guy took a chance on you, or he helped you out, or he picked you up. Like if that guy wasn't in your life, or that didn't, like, it would have changed everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the course of your life, you wouldn't have been in Odessa, Texas, possibly. You know what I mean? Or ended up here if it wasn't for that one guy or someone giving you a shot. I mean, I guess similar situation for me. Like, you really did that. Like you and like Chitcher like did that for me. You know what I mean? Like we couldn't travel, like we couldn't afford hotels every other weekend, and so it's just cool to see like, you giving back, and like you guys did the same thing for me, and if you guys wouldn't have done that and helped me out, like who knows what I'd be doing now. You know what I mean? I think that shapes you, and that like puts you in a path. Like,
well, and also you got to remember, like back in Canada, you're just traveling 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. So I got to give a shout out to West Texas. We're our closest rink around here is 4.5 hours away. It's tough. It's it's very tough to play the game of hockey here. I think once people take a chance and they put the gear on, I mean, they don't look back. And that's.
Well, I remember like playing, like when I played like midget hockey and had you for a coach for a little bit there, but like no, I think I remember playing like 1 or 2 games a season here, maybe. Yeah. We got lucky.
Oh yeah.
If we got lucky. Now we have tournaments all the time. Like there's teams always coming in here and always playing, which I think is crazy. Like, I mean, I guess I'm a little bit jealous, actually. Yeah. Like I wish we had that when I played.
Well, I mean, that's another quick story, right? I took over the program back when I retired, and I had about 17, 18 kids. I think it was your age, and a couple stragglers. We call stragglers. A couple stray cats that a couple stray cats that skated every Monday and Wednesday. You had 8 people on the ice, ranges 5, 6. I mean, I just remember sitting at the mall, handing out flyers, continuing to do clinics and continue to do stuff, and we kept building the program. And just to go back to what you said, I mean, nobody would come to Odessa. Yeah. They thought we were white trash back in the day. We had all. That's true. I mean, it's true. And then over the years, it's guys like, ex-pro players, Adam Doyle, Laverne, yourself, Don Lassiter back in the day, Johnny Oldham. I mean, Johnny Oldham took it over. And we just established really good relationships with the Metroplex in San Antonio and Austin and Houston. And they just eventually started coming down. And the reason why they continue to come down is our hospitality. I truly believe that West Texans are... I mean, just our hospitality, they make you feel at home. I mean, they'll cook it, they'll cook for you. Remember our little barbecue pits we used to have? We'd feed all the players when they came in, and then every year it just continues to grow and grow.
Yeah,
and
but
grow.
I think a lot of that is like the competitiveness too. Like, I don't really remember what it was like too far before me. But and then there was like that time where like maybe I left and I went to go play junior, and so I don't really even remember what our youth hockey was like at that time either. Right. Like how our teams were doing. But now I feel like we have some pretty solid teams. Like obviously, like we just won a championship, absolutely. But like I think people see that, and they see that we are competitive and we have some pretty good players. That makes it exciting for them. They want to be here. Then they get it. Like, okay, like Odessa's a contender. Like they have some players, so it's not a bad deal to come down here. So
yeah, and I mean, just to compete against Dallas and Houston, those like bigger markets, and now Austin just built that beautiful rink in Austin, which is a great facility. Adam's doing a great job there, and Angie, and those are the rinks that we're going to have to continue to compete with, and. I mean, there's some guys that leave, but at that time, that was the best decision for them. We couldn't offer that stuff, but we continue to grow and grow. And, I always say if you're having fun and you're developing, I mean, you're eventually going to get there, right? I mean, it's kind of like math. Some kids get math at the 4th grade and some kids get math at the 9th grade. And it's just like hockey. Some guys develop early and some guys develop late. And, we just continue to help our kids and just push our kids, learn the fundamentals and going through a lot of adversity, obviously. I mean, yeah. Winning and losing, it's definitely hard on these kids and the parents. I mean, travel hockey ain't easy, but I do appreciate everybody that puts their time into it.
You were on how many weekends have you been out of town?
This weekend will be my 8th weekend. This is a non-hockey weekend, though, this weekend. We're going to go...
Yeah, you're going skiing.
Yeah, you're supposed to be coming with us, and you're going to stay here with the podcast live. I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm going to edit. Edit.
Well, we love
I know, maybe I'll still go.
I think you should. I think it's the best time. We go to Sipapoo. We've had our families go.
What is it called?
Sipapoo Resort. It's a classic gem. You've never skied before?
I've never skied before.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you would love it. It's great. It's just freedom. Your cell phones don't work. You don't have to worry about anything. And just peace. peace and quiet.
Speaking of, you're on your phone a lot.
I am. I was on the phone a lot today with Dallas.
Not today. You used to make fun of me. You guys used to make fun of me all the time for being on my phone, and you're on your phone probably more than anyone I know.
But I'm not a social media guy. I text. I communicate with people. That's the difference. And I'm telling you, I had many calls today. I did have
You're
to.
You're definitely
address
not a
things.
social media guy.
No, it's not into the graphics and all this.
People literally like.
Nice.
I still can't get that. I have a lot. Obviously, like, so I run a social media advertising business. Like, and we do a lot of like. Obviously, it's a lot of tech, but like, I would still rather write in a notepad with my schedule. Like, that's how I still do it. Like, I see these people and they punch everything in on their phones and they type it on their tablets and stuff, like their schedule, and it's like reminders. Like, I can't do that. I can't do it. I have to write it.
I mean, if you look at my book, I mean, I can tell you who I talked to every day, what I did. I've had that.
You have a diary.
I mean, pretty much got a pretty much diary, so. But hey, let's get back to you. Tell me how you did this path, how you got into social media, and what you're doing now, what were you doing 2-3 years ago? Because I do know that you spent a lot of time at the rink giving back, and I want to know how you got into social media.
So, do you want to know social media, or do you want to know?
Well, just how you got involved in all this technology stuff. I mean, like.
Okay, so do you want me to skip out like the hockey stuff, or what?
Well, I mean, people can't look you up on Hockey DB, so let's go. Let's go ahead and start with the hockey program.
Let's go ahead. Probably not a Hockey DB.
Let's go ahead and go with the hockey first, and like how you got into hockey.
It didn't
and stuff.
start with hockey.
It started with figure skating.
It started with figure skating.
I do remember you were a big Nancy Kerrigan fan. You were watching the Olympics with Nancy
Kerrigan. Anyway, so I grew up figure skating. I think I was 5 when I started skating, and then it got more serious, and I got into competing, and the whole 9 yards. Went to nationals twice, and that was like around the intermediate novice level. So same in hockey, like you go up in like levels. You start whatever it is, preliminary, juvenile, and it just keeps going until you get to senior level. And I think halfway through one of those seasons, maybe it was like it was my second nationals. I was done. I was just so like, I just wanted to play hockey. And I remember like sneaking and like playing like drop-in hockey
at the rink
and trying not to let my coach see that I was playing hockey because they didn't want me to get hurt. They it was all about figure skating. And finally after the second nationals, I was like, I'm done. I'm just going to play hockey. And I think, so I started playing travel hockey. And I was a really good skater.
Yeah, you're like the guy in the Mighty Ducks.
Yes,
I remember that guy that could just skate back and forth.
But that's it. That's all I could do.
And no hands.
Yeah, I had no hands.
Yeah.
The hands came later.
Yeah, and you did. Later. It did come later.
Yeah. So I started playing hockey and played, for the junior jacks. And I was just the time of my life. I just met some good friends, and having you and Chitch and all those guys, like we just had such a good time. And my last year of like midget, I guess U18, but I was 17. I was 17 when I went and played junior. So I don't remember the timeline exactly, but went and played junior, had a blast. Like junior's the best time of your life. Like
absolutely.
I heard guys say that before, like junior's the best time of your life, and it really was. Again, met some great people. Got connected in some other areas of the U.S. and in the hockey world, and I have great friends from it, and some crazy stories that will probably come up later on in later shows. But after my last year, when I was 20, so I was aging out. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I know I wanted to start a company, start a business, and just kind of do my own thing. And I was tired of traveling on buses and all that stuff, and I started teaching lessons. I grew I had like three or four students, and like over a period of like 6 months, it went to like 30 kids.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. And I did that for a long time, and I still do it. And that was just like my hustle. Like that's all I was doing. I was just doing lessons. And I don't know what it was. It was 2016. Actually, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm losing track here. So you met Billy.
I did meet Billy, yes.
You met Billy at the wedding. You've met him a couple times.
Yes.
So me and Billy...
tight shirt Billy. I remember Billy very, very well at the wedding.
I'm totally getting ahead of myself here. I'm going off track. So me and Billy, I don't even know our ages. I'm not going to even try to remember. But he said, hey, like, let's start this company. And only at that time, like, Facebook was really like the thing. And you could just now like start doing like Facebook business pages and all that good stuff. We had like one client set up, and we were going to like go meet with them, and we were going to take over their Facebook business page.
Yeah.
And he went off to college. I went and I kept playing junior. And so that was like,
You were young.
It was a while back. I was probably like 15, 16. Like, I was young. And after I got done with junior and I was teaching lessons every day, I was just kind of like sitting and I'm like, I'm going to start Power Grab Media. So I called Billy and I'm like, hey, like, can I take over Power Grab? Can I like have the name and can I do all that stuff? And he's like, it's yours, man. Do what you want with it. And he was all for it. And we changed the logo up, and like, it was just like me and my phone. And I just started going to like, door to door and business to business and like asking if I could run their social media page. And I remember like going into businesses and they were like, okay, well, like, can you show us what you got? And I'm like, well, I just got my phone, like, let me just take some photos. So I had some like apps, and I would go and take these pretty decent photos, and I'd show them, and they're like, you took that on your phone? Within that week, I got like 3 clients, and I was like, oh, this could be legit.
Yeah.
Like, I could do something with this. It's grown, and so Power Grab does social media advertising. We do product photography. We do a lot of real estate, photo and video, and we have a web developer, so we do web developing, and we even do some consulting. So shout out to Joseph, our web developer.
Yeah.
He's killing it. So with all that, I mean, it's kind of blown up in its own little way, but it's pretty cool. So
Well, I know Kenzie, she waited until you got successful, and then she said, yeah, I'm all in.
I don't know if she waited on me to be successful. She's pretty successful herself.
Yeah,
so.
she's doing great.
But so that happened, and so I still teach Power Grab Media, the whole youth hockey stuff, helping out with some youth hockey teams, and then but let's get into like the whole reason we're doing this.
Yeah, Chirp hockey. I mean,
so I honestly don't even remember like how it all came about. I just remember saying like I wanted to start a brand. You had talked about like making some hats.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like came together, and we're like, well, let's just do it. And so we just started throwing some hats together. We know a lady, she helped us. We put some stuff together, and we had Chirp Hockey.
Yeah, China Chirp Hockey. We've had great support from everybody here in West Texas. We do have to send a few to Canada. I've got some calls today.
We've already sent a few to Canada.
Yeah,
it's expensive to send them over there, but yeah.
I know you did the logo. I mean, it looks great. Chirp Hockey. I mean, chirp is when you make fun of an opponent on your team, or maybe in the dressing room, but mainly it's due to the
or on the opposing
team that you're playing against. That's how it usually happens before a fight back in the day. Not too much this generation.
Would you say that the guys you played against or with would back in the day, whether it was like semi-pro or pro or whatever, or junior, would they say that you were a good chirper?
Oh yeah, I used to have the best one-liners back in the day. I would chirp them all the time. That's how I got this shirt. It says Bender on the back. I watched you skate for the first time, and I decided to go ahead and go with Bender.
You fell last night in a drill.
Oh my goodness, I can definitely tell I'm over
because
40.
You sharpen your own skates.
Oh, yes, we did do an investment this year and bought a skate sharpener and a few tumbles.
You're pretty good. You're good at sharpening skates. You're not as good as me, but you're good.
Well, I mean, I've only done it 3 times, but it just comes naturally. I mean, Easton and London, they love the way I sharpen their skates, so it saves me a few bucks on the side, and I can say I have my own skate sharpener.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, like speaking of last night and you falling, how about your stick?
Yeah, that was my last pattern.
Oh my goodness. So there was so here's the story. So I can always tell when Margot's gonna snap, literally like snap in a practice, and Margot's on the boards, and there's the penalty box is like right behind him, and our penalty box doesn't have glass. It's just like an open door, and there's like a family of like 10 sitting right next to the penalty box, and I see Margot losing it, and he takes his stick and he like over the head slams it, and this whole family like jumps and freaks out. And then what was even funnier, so you snapped your stick, which was pretty funny last night, but then somehow you got another stick, and
nice stick too.
Your son comes up to you, Easton comes up to you, and he says, hey, where'd you, like, because Easton loves sticks. Yeah. He's always talking about sticks and the flex guy. And patterns, and he's like, Dad, where'd you get the stick? And you said, don't worry about it, kid. And you skate off.
Yeah, I know he does have a stick fetish. He goes through like 10 sticks a year, but I'm not going to mention any names, but the same guy messed up the drill like 5 times. You know, when you're 5th in line or 6th in line and then it like becomes your turn to go, you should know what you're doing. And at that age, it's just, a little frustrating, but I talked to the kid afterwards. Everything was good, but we just need them to listen a little bit better. And it's my first stick this year, by the way. First stick.
Well, you had a couple like close ones. Like you were going for it, and then you're like, I'm not gonna do it. But anyway, yeah, that stick was done.
That stick was old. I think I've used that back in '98.
But you have the worst curve I've ever seen in my entire life.
I got that curve.
It's like a reverse, like it goes both ways. You can play righty and lefty.
Yeah, it's kind of like a spatula. I got that when I was in London. Okay, I played in the OHL in London for the London Knights, and there's a guy named Kent Hawley. Nobody probably knows who he is, but this guy had phenomenal hands. And I look at his stick, and it was half left, half right. And I was like, I want to use that stick. So he gave me his stick for the first time, and he played for the Wildcats. They had like a pro team there. And ever since then, I sent my sticks to back in the day it was the Shearwood, the big Shearwood, the old wooden sticks. And they just customized a stick, and I've been using it ever since. And it was good.
I thought your stick was broken the first time I saw it. Like the first time I saw your curve, I thought it was broken, and I was going to throw it in the trash. Like it looks that bad.
Come on, it's not that bad, Johnny. I mean, I don't want to get into the stuff, but I mean, I remember your first time skating. You didn't know what a blue line was. I talked to Chitch before I think we had 19 guys trying out for your team, and I said, man, who's that guy in the red helmet? He goes, that's not a helmet. He said, that's not a helmet. That's his afro, big red afro. And man, I said, that guy can skate. And I remember the first drill, 2-on-1. He's down there by the goal line. Johnny, we got to teach you offsides. And then Chitch goes, hey, he's your project. He's on the team. Yeah. So we used to put him on the power play in front of the net. He'd be the first one to get there. Couple offsides.
Shoot. We'll get into all the good stuff, all the on ice stuff. But I don't know. I guess we can wrap things up. I felt like we did a pretty good introduction for people
absolutely.
who don't know who we are, and we'll have some good stuff, good content to come. So maybe we'll have some call-in interviews possibly.
That's a pretty spiffy machine you got there.
I said we would do it right. It's better than your little tape recorder that you wanted to bring in.
That is. We will definitely have callers, and we're going to give out some Chirp Birch here in the future episodes.
We'll give away some stuff, and then we'll actually have people in to do some podcasting with us, and we'll have some fun. So.
I've had a lot of phone calls that want to be on the show, so hopefully we can get them on the show. If anybody wants to sponsor one of the shows, let us know, and you can hit Johnny up on social media. And
so follow us on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. I think those are like our 3 main platforms. So if you want any Chirp merch, you can get a hold of me and Donnie, or just go to our Facebook or Instagram, hit us up, and
we'll get to you.
Yeah, that's it. So.